You guys are going to be working with the pencil tool, the pen tool, the smooth tool, and the blob brush tool for these 4 exercises. So for this first one, the most basic one, you're going to be using the pencil and pen tool, and one trick using the Pathfinder panel. So when you download the first one, Pencil Pen Heart, first thing you do is get your layers, but then also go up to Window and grab Pathfinder. We will use that. And you have a template that's going to come. It should be locked just so it's out of your way. And you're using this to trace from, all right? So you want to make at least 2 layers here. I would name one something like the frills, which will be around here. That will be in pencil. And then the other one is heart. And we actually want the heart one to be on top, so just keep that in mind. I'm just going to drag mine on top there. All right, so for the frills, let's do that first just because the pencil tool tends to be a little bit easier. So pencil tool shortcut is N. That smooth tool that we'll be using also lives there. So remember, you can always pull tools out by clicking on that arrow to the right. So pencil tool is just like you would think you're drawing, and a lot of times when you are drawing in Illustrator, it can be useful to draw with a tablet, which you guys are welcome to get from the cupboards. It does take some practice, but it can be helpful. So you can see that Illustrator wants to help clean up those vector paths. So I'm going to just point out it looks a little bit lumpy, and then it smooths it out. So you can see how many points. Now, I can double click on the pencil tool and say just how smooth I want it to be and what fidelity I want it to be. So you guys can practice with those settings, leave these alone, and then go back and see that even if you're purposely kind of messy, Illustrator tries to smooth it out as much as possible. So if I went all the way up, you see that difference. What I like is a little bit towards the smooth side, keep the fidelity. This just means kind of how true you are to the lines you're drawing. All right. And then with the smooth tool, you can grab that and go over the lines that you have and try to correct some, right? So that would be in your frills layer. What we want to do with this ultimately is you're going to design the heart and the frills. You can choose different colors from my design here, but you want to have a stroke and a fill for each. So for example, in this frills layer, I'm just going to do this quickly. I think I have it set as a gray stroke and a none fill. So I'm going to just quickly go to where I started to end that shape. And I'm going to tell it that I want it to be a black stroke with a purple fill, right? You can also tell just how wide you want that fill to be. Okay, so let's say that we have that. I obviously have some work I can do to fix some of this. I can smooth some of these areas out. Doesn't have to be perfect. As long as it's selected, you should be able to smooth things out. I can also use my direct select tool that we've covered before and double click on points, right? Or realize that that is not necessary, hit my minus tool and just get rid of it. Right? To smooth things out. That would be one thing you could do, okay, if you wanted to edit. So my suggestion is you just take your time though, and I would draw this with a tablet. Okay, so you have that, you have your frills, and then you have the heart. So the heart you're going to do in a pen tool, so that's P for pen, all right? And you're going to do your best to draw and drag with the Bezier handles here to help you out. And keep in mind that you want as little number of points as possible as you are drawing. And you always, just like the pen and pencil tool, you will always end where you start so that you have a complete shape. And you know you're going to end where you start because the pen tool pops up with a little complete circle. All right, I'm just going to click and drag that. All right, so again, you would fill this with a fill color of your choice and stroke color of your choice. And when it's selected, you can use the smooth tool to help smooth things out. So you can see that really helped right there, right there. I'm going outside, right, because it was a little bit in. So this one I'm going to go inside and smooth that out. And again, I'm going to go outside here, trying to get that to come a little bit more over. Not really. I'm going to go back and grab my direct select and just click and drag that up the way I want it to be. And I might even need to use that handle to play with. Okay, so you get your heart, and then you will see, let me go to this transparency panel and just knock this down for a bit. Okay, you will see that on there are some other shapes, little eyes, and I want to show you the trick of what we did here. So back to the pen tool, separate shape, so I'm going to draw these little eyes, and when I'm switching over to another shape that's not connected, I'm going to click off, command click. All right, again, draw these eyes, and then I think you guys can handle the mouth. So command click. What you're going to do is you're going to select this whole shape, right? Or click and drag over it. And in the Pathfinder panel, you're going to hit minus front. And what it's going to do is it's going to delete that shape so that when I bring this back on, I can see underneath it, right? And now the reason this is pink right here is because of transparency. So while that's still selected, I'm going to bring this back to 100. Okay, so when you guys are done, you'll have something that looks like this. Pencil tool, pen tool, Pathfinder. Take a screenshot, submit that. Okay, so that's the first one. Then you have a little bit more work to do with the pen tool Zebra. And let's see, you don't need the Pathfinder panel for this. So for the pen tool Zebra, you're going to think about some layers here. So I would make layers that are maybe the head, the body, the stripes. You know, you can get as detailed as you'd like. So make a few layers, block things that you're not going to be using. And you're going to be filling these as well with color. So in the end, you'll have a colored drawing. All pen tool. So just want to point out a couple tricks when it comes to the pen tool. So I'm going to start with the body. Again, you are drawing with as little as points as possible, just clicking and dragging. That will help get that smooth artwork. And my suggestion is to just keep your fill at a none fill until you're done. So there's one thing I want to talk to you guys about right there. Why that happens is because the Bezier handle here, this point is communicating with this point and causing this arch. So I'm going to go back to one step back, Command Z, and I'm going to click right where that point ended from before, and you'll see it wants to go to a new tool. It's a little upside down V. When I click and drag here, I can see this is actually going to convert my anchor point. So I'm gonna click, that Bezier handle goes away, and now I have more control. And you guys will get the hang of what will be okay. Like this handle didn't affect that as much. This handle does affect it. So convert, drag and draw. Draw and drag, sorry. All right, you can see. All right, so you guys will get the hang of it as you guys are practicing here. And then you'll kind of realize, you know, or foresee where you'll probably need to convert your handles without even having to hit like Command Z or anything like that. All right, now another tip. Let's say that you do something like this and you realize, I need something here. All right, so you can either use your smooth tool and see if that's going to help, that helps a little bit, or you can do something like add an anchor point and then go to your, zoom in so you can see that. I added an anchor point by hitting the plus sign. It also lives in the pen tool here, just like the delete one does, and then go to the direct select and double click, bring that over, double click, bring that where you want, grab that handle, move it where you want. Okay, so there's options. Okay, that was just a smooth tool to smooth that out. All right, so I would approach these as solid shapes. So the body here is one shape. The two back legs are separate shapes. The mane is a separate shape. The head is a separate shape. And then on there you have the nose and the stripes and the eyes, etc. Now, all these guys would be separate shapes so that you can fill them separately. You can have them as separate layers, right? So, for example, my body would be below as a layer of the stripes and the head so that this could be visible on top. All right, so I'm just going to finish. Once I would finish this, I would color it with a fill and a stroke of my choice and design it as you'd like. You just needed to do the zebra. You don't need to do anything in the back. And then one last design tip that you guys might like. For the head, for example, you can see that in the drawing that some of the lines are wider than others. There's variable line width, and that can be translated in Illustrator. So I'm just going to quickly draw my head shape in. Okay. Smooth tool can help out. Direct select can help out. Okay, I'm not going to be too worried about this being perfect. Let's say that I want to keep this zebra this color. I want that. Black stroke, I want it to be maybe 2 points wide. There is a tool over here down towards the bottom left. It's called the width tool, Shift W. And when you click on the stroke that's selected, you find a point that you want to make wider. So you can change the variable. So you can see what that did there. It changes the width variable so that it's thin and thick in certain parts. And this could be nice